Good morning. Welcome to another episode of the Electric Bison. Directly behind me is an electricity substation. Electricity in the last century was responsible, just by its existence, for the increase in our gross national product by over 50%. Electrification of our farms, ranches, factories. People could work later at night. Engines in factories took up less room because they were electric, and so forth. So now, the reason that there was such an increase in gross national product with electrification is it's the very nature of electricity that when it gets adopted, it changes the cultural organization that the device is in. So for example, if you did have a small electric motor on the roof of a factory instead of a huge piston-driven, belt-driven gadget taking up all kinds of space, you could bring more people into the factory. Or if you had radios in your open pit mine where they could talk to the shovel operator, the efficiency of the trucks in the mine became much greater just by reorganizing, because they have this new capability. And now we're seeing that with our universities, and we're seeing that with the way we communicate with each other. I remember when my father would put, he'd write on the wall in our kitchen next to our phone, "No long distance telephone calls," because they cost money. And he didn't like paying that telephone bill. Well, now you can call anybody you want anywhere with your cell phone. That's an electricity-based technology. People working with these technologies sometimes forget that the whole basis for it is electricity. And electricity, for example, came from north behind us on the horizon at Great Falls on the Missouri River. It came a couple hundred miles south to the mines in Butte and allowed those mines to operate once alternating current was discovered. Direct current couldn't do it because it couldn't go the distances of alternating current without the line loss, and so forth. So now we're facing these two huge sources of electricity use. One is cryptocurrency, where they have electricity-based machines, computers, trying to solve problems and thereby earn the value of a crypto coin. But maybe the way to go, maybe it's changing our whole cash system to something else, who knows. But we got it. It's a huge source of electricity use. And then we have artificial intelligence. And in Montana alone, there's 4 new artificial intelligence server farms being contemplated. At least some of those will become a reality. And each one of those is a new large load that will eat up the electricity that we take for granted. I'm not saying any of this is bad, and hopefully some of the artificial intelligence will help solve or cross the barriers to making better use of the electricity that we do have. Who knows? But what I want to talk about right now is the reality that cryptocurrency and artificial intelligence, those interests, those private interests, are the first ones to virtually purchase an outcome from our Congress. Cryptocurrency, they put money into Democrats and Republican campaigns so that they pretty much controlled the outcome of the last Congress with regard to cryptocurrency. They made sure, for example, that nobody could do it but private interests. And now, the artificial intelligence interests from Silicon Valley and other places are planning to put a huge amount of money into the midterm congressional elections so that they can also control the outcome. They're not going to support anybody that wants to regulate artificial intelligence at the state level. They want it all done at the national level. That may not be a bad idea. It kind of makes sense to me, but the point is that they're trying to purchase an outcome before Congress even meets by donating money to people campaigning for public office and controlling who gets elected. That's really a bad outcome. That's a change we do not want in our democratic society. So whether or not a person agrees with the artificial intelligence people on this or the cryptocurrency people, we need to take steps to control the influence of their money on our democratic process. It's become catastrophic, really. Before that, the oil companies were able to purchase outcomes. They basically turned what was clearly known as by the scientific community as a threat to our planet. They've turned that around. It's saying it's a hoax with money, and got the laws changed or changed back so that they can continue doing what they have always wanted to do, make money on fossil fuels. So fossil fuels, cryptocurrency, artificial intelligence. And they're probably going to have their way. I mean, no matter what we do, the artificial intelligence people will get what they want in the next midterms, because we can't change things before then. But I think there is a glimmer of hope, and that is that there's this transparent election initiative taking place here in Montana. And it's built on the idea not of whether a corporation is a human person or not, or the Citizens United. It just basically says that when a state, in the state of Montana, sets the guidelines for who can be a corporation and what they're going to be able to do, it thoroughly controls whether or not you can put money into a political campaign if you're a corporation. So the Transparent Election Initiative says we need to change our Montana statute for creating corporations and just say flat out, corporations in Montana can't put money into political campaigns. The idea would be that after that, other states might pick up the beat and do the same thing, and therefore restrict corporations, super PACs, all the huge amount of money that's flowing now to these campaigns in ways that we can't even follow anymore. Restrict them from doing that. I think it's a really good idea. It's simple, and I think people of both parties, political parties, are supporting it, and I think they're wise to support it. I'd like to see us get back to where we can talk about these issues in this new environment where electricity is going to be really, really important. By 2050, what's that, 25 years from now, will require 2 times the amount of electricity that we use right now. And I'm familiar with electricity transmission, distribution, and generation. And we have to really be concerned that our system for doing that doesn't get trashed. Anyhow, thanks for paying attention. Tell your friends about the Transparent Election Initiative. Take care.